6:30. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record reflect that Councilman Chris Ford attend tonight. Next, we're going to move into the presentation of awards. I'm going to move up front to these. Oh, one important thing we forgot, invitation. Councilman Wyden.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this evening and for the opportunity we have to be at Town Council. We ask that thy blessings continue to bless our town and our citizens. We're thankful for the rains which we've received, and we are grateful for all the blessings which we have. Continue to watch over and protect our military men and women throughout the world. Keep them safe and bless their families as they are away from home. And we ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman Wyden. All right, tonight we've got a series of awards. Each year the town goes through, we look at different companies for the town that do business with the town and so forth. We look at students, we look at scholars, we look at athletes. We kind of go through all those. We get recommendations from the high schools, and who they recommend, and we also do an employee of the year as well. So every year we do that. We sign up, we do a resolution for each. So I'm going to be reading each one of these, so just bear with me. It's a lot of reading, but I think it's important that we recognize each one. The first one's going to be for the business of the year. Whereas existing businesses contribute significantly to the local quality of life through corporate and employee community service, and whereas existing businesses and support community, charitable, social, civic, and cultural organizations with no recognition expected, whereas existing businesses provide the foundation for a strong, diversified economic base, whereas the efforts and contributions of these business professions to the town progress significantly, whereas since 1963 the town of Hickory has flourished due to the dedicated efforts of its businesses, loyal citizens, and their families, who have unselfishly given their personal time and other materials goods that Hickory Creek becomes a better place to live. Whereas sports clubs have supported activities in our community, and because of their continued contributions to our community, the Town Council would like to designate the Business of the Year to receive this distinguished honor of being formally recognized as Business of the Year for 2011. Now therefore be resolved by the Town Council of Hickory Creek that the Business of the Year be awarded given to sports clubs passed on April 24th, 2012. So the objectives can come up.
Yes, of course.
Hickory Creek Manager, of course.
Yes. Get that on her? Okay.
You get it, Jeffrey, on the front. Guys?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is for Citizen of the Year. Resolution designating the Citizen of the Year Award, whereas the town of Hickory Creek was barely incorporated in 1963 and was organized by a group of volunteer citizens. Whereas since 1963, the town of Hickory Creek has flourished due to the dedicated efforts of its many loyal citizens and families, who have unselfishly given their personal time and other material goods in order that Hickory Creek become a better place to live. Whereas because of the continued dedication and efforts for our citizens to improve the town of Hickory Creek, the Town Council would like to designate a citizen to receive the distinguished honor of being formally recognized as Citizen of the Year for 2011. Whereas Michael and Linda Cawley have contributed to the growth and development of our area and are the respective civic leaders and residents. Now therefore be resolved by the Town Council of Hickory Creek that the Citizens of the Year be awarded given to Michael and Linda Cawley, passed and approved, Hickory Creek Town Council, April 24, 2012. society. Whereas education is a never-ending process, and those individuals who are the most content are those who continue to develop their intellectual capacities, grow with the time in which they live, and work to achieve their highest potential. And whereas the accomplishments and achievements of our youth deserve recognition and praise. Whereas these students distinguish themselves not only as outstanding students and leaders, but as an extended example of the youth of our community. Whereas because of the continued dedication and efforts of our citizens and their families, the Town Council does hereby desire to formally recognize a high school student who has shown excellence in areas of academic and leadership to receive the distinguished honor and being formally recognized Scholar of the Year for 2011. Now therefore be resolved by the Town Council of Hickory Creek that the Scholar of the Year award be given to Ryan Spain and Lori Payne. So if you will, when we good one. You want to do? We do yours really quick. Okay. We're gonna stand up. Get it? Okay, this is for Sportsman of the Year. Whereas we realize that participation in organized athletics helps build character, it teaches a wholesome sense of good sportsmanship among our youth. Whereas to really excel in any one sport, a young person must demonstrate, in addition to natural ability, an outstanding spirit of dedication, enthusiasm, and hard work. Whereas the Town of Hickory Creek urges our community to reward kids who believe in themselves, each other, and the future. Whereas because of the continued dedication and efforts of our citizens and their families, the Town Council does hereby desire to formally recognize a high school student who has shown exceptional sportsmanship during the year to receive a distinguished honor of being formally recognized as Sportsman of the Year for 2011. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council of Hickory Creek that the Sportsman of the Year be awarded given to D'Antonio Jordan and Camille Bowen Fletcher, passed and approved by the Hickory Creek City Council April 24, 2012. So if you will. Mr. Jordan? You better get your camera phone out here, it's important.
I'll take some order right over. Love my dad.
Okay, this is for Employee of the Year for the Town of Hickory Creek. Investigator Jennifer Grant. Investigator Grant has shown initiative and perseverance in a very challenging position. She is organized and thorough in submitting detailed paperwork to the District Attorney's Office in order for Class A, B, and felony charges to be filed. She must also maintain a good working relationship with the District Attorney's Office, which she has achieved. Jennifer is always ready to help court filings, requests for open records, and additional case information, which in turn helps the court expedite cases. Jennifer deserves to be recognized for the responsibility and reliability she shows in her capacity as investigator at the Hickory Creek Police Department, which will be this Employee of the Year. Jennifer is going to receive 2 vacation days and gift cards from Chili's and Chick-fil-A. Vacation days will be taken in 2013. Folks, you're welcome to stay for the meeting. I know we all got busy schedules, but we got an agenda before we go to about 8:30 tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on with the agenda, let's move on to announcements. Any announcements? Anything coming up? I think we have the rabies and microchipping coming up, right, Saturday,
And the second one,
10 to 2?
that's 10 to 2.
Now, is that Hickory Creek residents only, or is that?
No.
Where's that going to be at? Shelter.
And then 5 to 7, at Metro PCS, the 2012 Olympic Dream Team basketball Dream Team
Men's basketball.
is going to be over there. It's going to be a huge event, so if you're interested in, I don't know who's going to be there, but there's a lot of big stars on the Dream Team, so.
All right, any other announcements? Okay, we'll move on to public comment. The purpose of this item is to allow the public an opportunity to address the council to comply with the provisions of the Open Meetings Act. The town council cannot discuss or take action on these items brought before they're not posted on the agenda. Comments regarding an item on the agenda may be made at this time on the agenda item. Please complete your question. Those will be followed. Okay, first up would be Brenda Layla. Is that right, Layla? Lalonde, okay. Would you step up to the mic, state your name and address?
Louisiana, it's Lalonde,
Lalonde.
French. Brenda Lalonde, 4700 East 14th Street, Plano, Texas. I'm here, I represent Republic Waste Services. Wanted to introduce myself and my company to you all as you move forward and make the decision whether or not to do a request for proposal for your solid waste services. We are an environmental company, and we look forward to the decision that you guys will decide to put it out for a request for proposal, and we look forward to responding to that proposal. So just wanted to introduce myself to you all and my company. And I will leave some literature with Christy about who we are and what we're all about, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tim Petticourt.
Good evening. My name is Tim Whittickford. I reside at 201 Hilltop Lane, Marble Grove. Last week we had a water board meeting with all the membership showing up. Of course, our membership wasn't very, they all didn't show. But what we'd like to do is ask the board to step in and help us out with the situation we're having now. We would like to have water and sewer brought into our neighborhood. We do not want to live in that neighborhood. We sort of feel like that maybe the city is forgetting us and going by. Well, I've lived there for the last 27 years. I've been to several board meetings. We've asked the board before to help us out. We've heard that the board is not in the business of selling water or sewer. I understand that. In '99, we ran out of water. We heard that from the board then. Now we have the opportunity to maybe hook onto the water and sewer. I don't think that Harbor Grove, as a company, can do that. We need the help of the city to go forward with that. I think that maybe we could, with your help, and also with the Harbor Grove board members, we could maybe go forward with it and get water and sewer brought into our neighborhood. And that's about it. Thank you. I appreciate it for your time.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to close the citizens forum. Move on to business item B, public hearing. It is now 6:45. To hear public opinion to consider the levy of assessments against property within Hickory Public Improvement District Number 1 to pay for improvements and confer a special benefit on the property. Would anyone like to speak on this?
Mayor and Council, my name is Kirk Wilson. I office at 1221 North I-35E South, Carrollton, Texas, 75006. I'm here tonight on behalf of CT&GT Turboville LLC. We are the owner of the property currently in the North Extraterritorial Jurisdiction on the corner of Park Ridge and Turboville Road. The developer, Centurion American, has about 25 years' experience in development and PID-related financings and projects within PID boundaries. The owner consists to and recommends approval of the Capital Service and Assessment Plan and the maintenance services assessment and assessment plan as presented to the town council, including the cost of the public improvements, roadway maintenance, and safety services set forth on reports prepared by Hatton Associates, Inc. The owner consents to and recommends that the town council levy the capital assessment against the Pit 1 property in the amount of $4,508,160, with a maximum per lot assessment upon the subdivision of $28,176 per lot, in accordance with the approved capital service and assessment plan and the ordinance. The owner consents to and recommends that the town council levy future roadway maintenance and safety service assessments in accordance with the approved maintenance and service and assessment plan and the ordinance. The owner acknowledges that the capital assessment against the Pit 1 property and against each lot is based on the benefit conferred to the Pit 1 property and the lots by the Pit 1 public improvements, and that benefit conferred upon the Pit 1 property and lots exceeds the amount of the assessment. The owner consents to and recommends approval of a reimbursement agreement pursuant to which Pit 1 revenues will be used to reimburse the owner for costs of the public improvements. The owner acknowledges that all actions taken by the town in connection with the creation and establishment of the pit and the levy of assessments have been taken and performed in compliance with all applicable laws in a regular, proper, and valid manner. The owner recommends approval of the ordinance and execution of the reimbursement agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Anybody else speak on this? Okay, it's 6:47. We'll close the public hearing. Move on to consent agenda items. Questions or comments on this, Council?
No, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1 through 9 as presented.
Councilman Teresa made a motion, we have a second. Councilman Clark seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to item D1, interview applicants for Parks and Recreation Board. So we've got place 2 currently held by Karen Belgal, place 4 currently held by Linda Fulker, place 6 currently held by Porter Walker. Terms expiring June 1st. Linda Fulker has chosen not to reappoint. Karen Belgal and Porter Walker would be reappointed, okay? And Christy Marion would like to be considered appointed. Christy? No. Has she been coming to the meetings?
I don't know. She hasn't been there when I've been there, and I've been there all the meetings, so. No. Who is she?
She's Christy Marion.
Has she been on it
Ouch.
She's a friend of Chris Gordon's. I think it's somebody that lives in Lakeview maybe. It's asked to be part of the board over there. So 3 open spots. Ms. Belgal and Ms. Walker, you are both want to carry on your terms 2 more years. Yeah, Tom, you're shaking your head.
I'm holding my head still.
All right. I haven't met Ms. Moran. Councilman Weiser, have you, or Councilman Kenny? She lives over there.
I met her once. I don't know her well, but I have met her.
I've met her, I know who she is.
So good candidate for the Parks Board?
I've never had a problem with her. I know she's into training and education, physical education, and stuff like that, but I think if you guys take her and give her some job duties, I bet you she runs with them. No fun there, but I bet you she runs with them.
Okay.
We'll take any old warm body these days. Took me.
All right, so is everybody all right with that? Well, that's that motion.
Who's not? Do we have places on these?
Karen is place 4.
No, I'm 2.
Oh, so it's 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is 2, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead, Councilman.
I make a motion, we reappoint Karen Belgal to place 2, Porter Walker to place 6, and that we appoint Christy Marin to place 4.
Okay, Councilman Clark's made a motion.
I'll second.
Councilman Weiser seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all for volunteering for 2 more years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for approving me.
All right. Item 3, consider an act on the ordinance related to Hickory Creek Public Improvement District No. 1 improvement, service and assessment plan for public improvement, approving the service and assessment assessment plan for roadway maintenance and safety services, levying assessments to pay for public improvements, levying assessments to pay for roadway maintenance, safety services, providing for the collection of assessments, providing for the prepayment of assessments, providing for the assessment liens, providing penalties for delinquent assessments, providing findings of the special benefit, providing severability, providing an effective date, approving and directing the execution of the agreement to reimburse CTMGT Turbeville LLC for the cost of the public improvement. Lance, you get a chance to go through that?
Yes, I did.
Any questions or anything that?
It's consistent with the previous plans we looked at, the preliminary plan last month.
Right. Discussion amongst the council? Mr. Wilson, do you have anything to add than what you brought up during the public hearing?
No, I don't.
Mike?
Mayor, I'd like to thank Town Secretary, without whose help we wouldn't be here tonight, on a very tight schedule.
We all are indebted to her.
She's great.
Any discussion from the council?
I still have a question, and it has to do with the road maintenance fee, because I've gotten two different answers. And so the question is, we don't collect anything the first 3 years, I believe, is that correct?
My name is Ike Shoup. I'm an attorney, 500 Main Street, Suite 800, Fort Worth, Texas. What you're doing tonight is levying an assessment of 0, but it's only for 1 year. And you'll have to revisit that maintenance assessment and services assessment each year after. So you're levying an assessment for maintenance of 0,
Right.
and none of the assessments start to be collected until you've got platted lots complete.
Okay, but getting on into this, once this is done, we're 3 years into the assessments, or 3 years into this process, and in the first 3 years, there's been nothing or very little collected. If we had, and what I'm going for here is that, and I discussed this with you, and then I asked the question and before, if we have a road failure out there, and we have to go in and repair roads, but we don't have the money collected within the PID to pay for that. I got two different answers. One was you repair, then assess. And then the other answer I got was you assess and then you repair. So can you help me with that, how that works?
Maybe both of those answers should be true. If it's something that
We
you
assess
see,
both times. I like that.
if it is a catastrophic failure and you discover it, then I don't think you have a choice but to fix it and assess later. If it is something that you anticipate and you can wait another 9 months or a year, then you go assess for it and you'll have the funds available. So I think it depends upon the severity of what happens.
Okay.
But you may not have the dollars there and you would have to repair and assess.
Okay. And then, so we would, in that sense, have to go into our reserve funds to cover something temporarily.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then the other question I had has to do with interest on the 4.5 million. When does that, there's a 6% interest that begins accruing at what point?
It begins to accrue, no interest accrues until you have platted lots on the ground. And then interest starts to accrue differently for different lots. If somebody pulls a permit, then interest starts to accrue, and the first installment of that is due the next January 31. If you have a lot and you don't pull a permit and you sit on that lot, you can sit for 4 years, after which interest starts to accrue, and then the next January 31, you start paying your annual installment.
But so on the whole 4.5 million, is this interest that's being paid individually by lots?
Yes, it'll be computed by lot. So if you think of it as a graph, that interest, as you start to pull permits on a lot, you'll start to see that interest will rise, and then eventually, as you get to build out, you'll have a steady income stream and a steady interest stream.
Okay, thank you. I thought that was what it was, but I want to make sure
You were
I
right.
understood that correctly.
Any other questions? Thank you.
As I promised, we have half associates here on the front row. So if you wanted to ask questions,
anticipated replacement cost as the pavement fails. In the first 3 or 4 years, we don't anticipate any pavement really failing. In the 4 to 8 year period, we expect maybe 0.5% of the pavement to fail. 8 to 12 year period, maybe a percentage to fail. Take that into account. We take into account the escalation cost of those repairs. And then basically take that over a 20-year time frame, divide by the number of lots, and I think we roughly came up with $85 per lot per year. And in a nutshell, that's how we determine it.
Is that industry standard? I mean, is that how it's done, or is that how half?
That's how we've done it in the past, and I'm very comfortable with that estimation on the frequency of the repairs and certainly the construction costs. I mean, this is just based on our experience in the last 5, 8, 10 years, not knowing where construction costs are going 10, 15 years from now. I mean, actually, concrete costs dropped years ago, so it kind of fluctuates, goes up and down. But this is our best estimate of how the repair costs would play out over the next 20 years. And I think it's pretty standard, at least in how we do it is.
Any other questions?
I have another question, but not for half.
All right, thank you, sir.
One other question on the annual collection cost for the PID. This is, I know that one of the places I've looked at is Trophy Club, and they've got a company that administers their PID. Is that something you recommend that we do rather than trying to do it in-house? It seems very cumbersome to have it in-house.
I recommend you hire someone to do it.
And so, how many companies do this? Who are they? Where are they?
There are a couple. The one who does probably most of the work in this area, I think is probably Unicap. And let me also add, when an assessment, this assessment financing is one where the assessment number never changes. But the objective is that you are never out of pocket for any kinds of administrative costs. So when you pay that assessment with interest over time, there are several of those columns that are variables. And annual collection costs, delinquency charges, some administrative costs, all of those can be varied to cover whatever your third-party expenses are. So you're sure you never come out of general fund dollars to do that.
There's 2 companies that do this nationally. They're the largest. One is Unicap, and the other is Taussig. Unicap's the only one that has an office in the Dallas area. It's in Irving, and they have a rep on the ground, so that person comes and services the account more closely, and we would recommend the council look at them closely. There is the other company, Taussig, and they're out of California, and they do a very good job as well, but they don't have a local office.
And at what point do we hire them?
Probably this year, since we're planning next year. I think that I would go ahead and bring them in and get a contract in place with them sometime this year. And that we'll provide them all the information they need and obviously get them started.
And so what's the process annually that they go through, that they do? What do they do for you?
They'll do an annual update on the service plan, and every year they'll come in and do that update prior to your levy. And so they'll come in and give the recommendation to council, and they'll give you an account update. Since there's only 160 lots on this side,